What's going on, guys? Jeff back on the video. Well, today we're going to be doing the first of two reviews for a set of figures that the G.I. Joe Collector Club released in 2017 to its members. The first being Super G.I. Joe. This is a really big shock to me when this figure first came out. I'm not sure how many of you guys out there are really familiar with this figure, but the Collector Club did do a reintroduction of Super Joe. So we're going to take him back to the shop and do a good review of him. All right, guys, welcome back. Well, here he is. This is 2017's G.I. Joe Collector Club's offering of the 12-inch version of the Super Joe Commander figure. For those of you guys who aren't familiar, Super G.I. Joe was basically the bridge between the Adventure Team and the Real American Hero line, lasting for a couple of years, 1977-78, disappeared about as quick as it debuted. It's become kind of a phenomenon here lately because a lot of people have rediscovered the Super Joe line and are starting to mess around with doing customizations, restringings, and the prices of those figures on eBay have shot up tremendously as new ideas on how to repair these figures and how to enjoy these figures have recently emerged over the last few years. Side story, if you guys follow the World's Greatest Superheroes line of toys, you probably know that they make a lot of reproduction Mego things. I've bought some stuff from them to restore a few of my Mego figures. The fella who runs it and I have recently went back and forth, and he has started carrying replacement parts for the Super Joe line of 8 to 9 inch tall figures, i.e. his replacement hands done in the Mego style, decals and whatnot. Him and I emailed each other a couple days ago, and I was asking him about the possibility of them doing a 3D head sculpt of the Super Joe figure from the 1970s for the Mego bodies that they carry, and he seemed to think that that was a real possibility, along with possibly some reproduction Super Joe suits. So I don't know for a fact if he's going to try to do that, but he seemed very receptive to that. So you Super Joe fans out there, there might be some Mego style Super Joes coming in the future, so keep an eye out for that. I'll post a link to the World's Greatest Superheroes eBay page at the bottom in the description of this video. But back to this figure, this is what we're talking about today. This was a very cool figure, very unexpected. In the April 2017 G.I. Joe Collector Club newsletter, they basically told us we were getting these. Now, I first found out about this figure release on Facebook back in the day when I was still on there because I followed the Collector Club, and they broke the news on Facebook. I instantly ordered this figure right when it came out. I think it retailed for around $80. The figure himself came in this really cool retro style poly bag. As you can see, very retro, very much in the tribute, or I guess I'm very much in the vein of the Super Joe line from the late 70s. The figure also came with a really cool retro style comic book, which basically tells the story of how our G.I. Joe Commander becomes the Super Joe Commander. The gist of the story is an aging G.I. Joe Adventure Team Commander sees an aging Mike Power. New threats emerge to the Adventure Team. He gets in some kind of machine that Mike Powers made, and it does some kind of transfusion where it takes the consciousness of the G.I. Joe Adventure Team Commander and puts him in a brand new body. So he becomes the Super Joe, which is a cool concept. You know, you can see as part of the comic, that's what they did. You own this figure, you're familiar with this comic. So that was a cool bridge between the Adventure Team and the Super Joe that really we never got back in the 70s. The figure also came with a I guess not a re-sculpted, came with a Magnum Power style rifle and a light sculpted in a brand new gold color. And it also came with this creature, which is very similar to Darkon. Not Darkon, was it Darkon, the old lizard creature? I think so. I can't remember what the name of that old lizard creature was. But this was made by Safari Limited for the Collector Club. This figure actually is available through Safari Limited in a different color. So they kind of subcontracted Safari Limited to make this cool creature for this version of the G.I. Joe Adventure Team Super Joe Commander. The figure himself is basically on the G.I. Joe Super Articulated Platform body with the gung-ho grip, and it also utilizes the head from the Collector Club convention sets. Now, this is the first time we ever got the figure that is included in the Collector Club convention sets separately. What I mean by that is the G.I. Joe Collector Club would do these really cool convention sets, which I'm going to review later on this year, and they used a super articulated body with a classic style head re-sculpted to fit the super articulated body with a flock. So really cool. So the figure's super articulated. It uses the jack boots that came with a lot of the Collector Club sets. And it also came with a brand new, I guess the coolest part about this figure, it came with a brand new jumpsuit. So the jumpsuit's brand new in the Super Joe style. It has a screen printed Super Joe emblem, as well as the gold striping or piping down the black suit. So this was a great figure. Now, a few things about it. The flocking's not the greatest on it. The flocking was never great on these Collector Club convention set style figures. This is really no exception. It's not the greatest flocking. So if I was going to really get crazy, I would probably take this head off and reflock this figure, but I'm not going to do that. And another problem that I had, this is the third figure that I got from the club of this Super Joe Commander. Now the problem, the arm is extremely loose. It came like that. So I thought it was broken, so I sent it back to the Collector Club. They sent me another one, same problem. So I sent it back again. They sent me another one, same problem. I got really shitty in an email to one of the ladies at the Collector Club because I thought they were screwing me over by sending me the same figure. Apparently not. This is a production flaw, and as you see in my review of the Darkon Gore figure, you'll know that it has the same issues as this. So I don't know if these were bodies left over from previous convention sets that didn't pass the Inspector 12, or if it's just a production flaw, like in so many of the other Collector Club items. There's little production flaws I noticed, but this has an extremely loose arm. So I'm not bothered by it. It just, I paid $80 for this figure, and I expected it to be, solidly made and with no issues. But, sometimes you just get the hose. But other than that, the figure's really, really nice. I was excited when they announced this. And I guess this is one of the most irritating things about the Man of Mystery figure. If the club was able to give us something like this in a short period of time, the fact that they gave us the Man of Mystery instead of a Bullet Man figure, or even added a Bullet Man figure on top of all those, was pretty sucky in the end. I'm disappointed by it. But all in all, this was a great set. I mean, very well conceived by the Collector Club. Executed pretty well, other than a couple of design flaws in the flocking. A cool accessory set. The fact that they subcontracted out the mutant creature to Safari Limited was a really, really great idea. And I've noticed that I think Cotswold does that as well. I don't know if they subcontract out stuff, but they do include some small creatures from Safari Limited in their sets as well. So a great figure. I don't know how many of you guys out there have this guy. I'm excited to find out who has him. This would be a great figure to add to your collection. Obviously, a lot of us out there are kit bashing our own Super Joe figures, and that's cool too, because I really think the kit bashed ones with the Max Steel bodies are way better than this figure here. This figure here is more of a figure for hardcore collectors. And we'll go ahead and I'll set the original G.I. Joe Super Joe Commander with his light vest that I restored earlier this year, or last year I guess, next to him so you can see these two Super Joes together in all their glory. So, yeah, man, it's a great figure. If you're a completist like me and you're trying to complete your G.I. Joe collection and want to add something unique, then definitely look for the Super Joe figure that the club did. I don't know how many of these are out there. I don't really remember how many they made. They seems like they were gone in a blink. So it's a good figure, though. I was really happy that the Collector Club gave Super Joe proper treatment. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. Like and subscribe to the page. Hit the notification icon. Be on the lookout for the second part of this review series when I do Dark on Gore. Until next time, cheers.